This is a true crime in real-time update. The latest on the biggest cases we're following at True Crime Today and the Hidden Killers podcast.
It's one thing to get caught. It's another thing to get caught, arrested, and federally indicted on some of the worst charges imaginable, and still be on the phone from jail, hyping up your comeback like it's just another bump in the road. That's exactly what Sean Diddy Combs did in a recently leaked phone call with Kanye West. And let me tell you, if you haven't heard it, it's one of the most bizarre, delusional things you'll ever listen to. Not only does Diddy sound completely detached from reality, but Kanye, of all people, is the only one still picking up the phone and cheering him on. Everyone else? Gone. But let's start with the call itself. It's Diddy sitting in a federal prison, dialing up Kanye like it's just another day in the studio.
Tell you the real from the front line. You know what I'm saying? It's wicked, wicked, wicked. So you be careful.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing if they, you know what I'm saying? I need you out there, you feel me?
Yeah. I hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, have some fucking fun.
Yeah.
Not having no fun and then get behind the mic, have some fun, chop up them samples, get back on your hitman vibe.
Yeah.
Have some fun, get back to smiling.
Yeah.
These other motherfuckers, they'll waste your time, big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Wasting
understand.
your motherfucking time, you know what I'm saying? So put that love in your heart, man, and enjoy yourself, man. When I get out there, man, I'm gonna see you tear down the stadiums. I need to see you back on that stage and actually rapping and performing and everything. I be dreaming of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time. It's time for me to just grab the mic and get back on. It's like I love music again. It was a time when it's just like everything was so frustrating. I can't explain it, but yeah.
Jump into your bag, man. Jump into your bag. We're gonna have years and decades to fight these motherfuckers. Right now, enjoy your life. This is coming from me, from God to you.
Right.
Enjoy your life. Fall back in love, like when you was making the beats in the shop and coming up to Daddy's house and motherfucking rock studio and just chop them shits up. Bring that SP 1200 out, nigga, the MPC, and have a good time and say f- the world and all the bullshit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I love you, man. I appreciate you. And thanks again. And you know, I'm gonna see you soon, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be. You gonna definitely beat this shit. Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
And that's it.
That's it, and that's all, baby. But I'm gonna make sure I call you back or something. It'd be good to hear your voice again.
Yeah.
Like 59 more days before trial, so I'll definitely be touching in to tap into your energy or something.
Yeah.
Play me some shit over the phone, give me some fucking life. This shit fucking sad. I put Daddy in jail. This shit is fucking sad as a motherfucker.
It's insane.
The devil is a liar.
Yeah.
Word up, big.
Coming out though.
Yeah, man, but I love you once again, man. I'm gonna let y'all go and get back to some fun, man. I don't want to bring your vibration down.
Never.
So keep it in a high frequency, man. And you keep doing everything you're doing, man. You got that f***ing freedom. And when I get out and I get that f***ing freedom, whew,
Right.
I am not caring about nothing but motherfucking being happy. And I want you to feel that.
Yeah.
I want y'all to have that for yourselves, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it.
Oh, I know now.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for just taking care of my kids, man. Because ain't nobody reach out to them. Ain't nobody call them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? And that meant so much, you know what I'm saying, that you reached out to them and took them under your wing while I'm in this life, man. And I appreciate you. Word up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me even when I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel the love, yeah, for real. I feel the love, for real. It means so much to me. This shit right here is crazy. You be careful out there because they definitely trying to end us, you feel me?
Yeah.
They can't do it. They can't do it and they ain't going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to beat this shit and get next to you.
Yeah.
We're going to raise our families and become the kings that we supposed to be, you feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But words can't explain how much it means to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like being left for dead, B, and only one person coming to do anything to get you. And that's the level of taking care of my son. That's some like next level big brother shit to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to do that. You taking my son and like, damn, coming a big brother father figure to him means a lot, you know?
Man, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, they out there with no parent and shit, man. These people trying to rock me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the way you are as a father, man, it's just like I look up to the relationship that y'all got. You know, just even.
Yeah.
I just always love the way the connection y'all had, or this connection you got.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you helping to give them the love that they need. Just like it just means so much, bro. For real. When I see it in your face, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to hug you and thank you and show you for the rest of your life how much you appreciate it and always be there for you.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you. But I just feel like as a community, like we got to take the responsibility to, just for us, just all of us. It's like we a family. Everybody has been taken in by this fame, media, music, everything. No doubt.
Yeah, I thought we was all family, man. I really thought that, though. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know this family I got. You know this family I see. You feel me?
Yeah.
I done always spoke up for everybody, you know? And, I ain't bitter or nothing. I'm just telling you how it is because you're the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the only one that came to get me, that's all I can do is say, like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every time everybody try to attack us, I'm always riding. And you're the only person that spoke up, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just felt that energy. It's like something was channeling through me. You know how it be when I get in that mode and it's like, you gotta do it.
Yeah. Jump into your bag and thanks for the Sean John look too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely, we gotta keep that going. When I got my website, it's ready. They gave it back to me, actually.
The Shade Room gets hold of the footage, and suddenly we all have a front row seat to a conversation that makes zero sense in the real world. Diddy starts off by talking about how Kanye needs to fall back in love with music, how he should just have fun, enjoy life, and say if the world. All of this coming from a guy who, let's be clear, is facing life in prison, if the feds prove what they're saying. But sure, let's talk about Ye getting back in the studio. Like Diddy isn't literally behind bars for some of the most disturbing allegations in modern entertainment history. Then comes the paranoia. Diddy lowers his voice and tells Kanye, "You be careful out there, because they definitely trying to end us. This snot is wicked." Now, who exactly is they here? Because if he's talking about the government, that's not some shadowy group out to get him. That's federal prosecutors, judges, witnesses, evidence, and a pile of criminal charges that read like a RICO case straight out of a mafia movie. And if he's talking about the industry, well, it's not that people are trying to end him. It's that his reputation, his career, his entire public persona has already self-destructed under the weight of his own behavior. And yet, Kanye buys in. Ye responds, "I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me even when I didn't know you." He tells Diddy he's got his back no matter what. He agrees that people are out to get them, that they are trying to keep them down, that it's time for a comeback. A comeback. Like Diddy is a struggling artist who just needs one hit to get back on top. Like this isn't one of the most serious federal cases ever brought against a celebrity. Like we all didn't just witness a public and legal collapse that exposed a decades-long pattern of alleged abuse, trafficking, and violence. And this is where we have to pause and ask, how did we get here? Because this phone call, this isn't just two friends talking. This is two men completely ignoring reality. And the reality is, Diddy's in serious, serious trouble. All right, let's break down what's actually happening in Sean Combs' world right now. Federal authorities aren't just charging Diddy with one thing. They're throwing the entire book at him. Indictment by a federal grand jury? Check. Charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy? Check. Allegations that he used violence, drugs, and blackmail to control women? Check. Years of witnesses coming forward? Check. And here's where it gets even worse. Prosecutors say that for more than a decade, Diddy was running a full-on criminal enterprise designed to enable his abuse of women. This wasn't just about personal misconduct. This was systematic, with a network of enablers, hush money payments, and some of the most disgusting practices imaginable. They've even got a name for it. Freak-offs. That's what Diddy allegedly called his private, secret parties, where women were forced into degrading and violent sexual situations, many of them drugged, some of them filmed without consent, and all of them under his control. According to witness testimony, he'd allegedly used male prostitutes to force women into non-consensual encounters while he watched, recorded, and dictated what happened. And if a woman resisted, violence, threats, drugging, coercion. But that's not all, because this case isn't just about sex trafficking, it's about power and control. Exhibit A, Kid Cudi's car bombing. Yes, you heard that right. A car bombing. Back in 2011, Kid Cudi's car mysteriously exploded in his driveway. At the time, nobody knew who did it. But now we have allegations that Diddy ordered that explosion because he was furious that Kid Cudi had dated his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. Witnesses claim that Diddy had threatened to do it, and then, boom, the car was actually set on fire and destroyed. Think about what that means. If true, this isn't just a guy with a bad temper. This is someone allegedly willing to use extreme violence to send a message. And that's why this case is different. We've seen powerful men fall before. We've seen R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. But this is bigger than personal misconduct. This is organized crime. This is sex trafficking, intimidation, coercion, and possibly even attempted murder. And if the government can prove that Diddy was running this as a criminal enterprise, we're talking about RICO-level consequences. This isn't just cancellation. This is the real end of Sean Combs. And here's the most telling part. No one, and I mean no one, is standing by him. Not Jay-Z, not Dr. Dre, not his old Bad Boy Records crew, not his business partners, not even his celebrity friends who would normally rally behind a fallen star. They are gone. Even his companies are distancing themselves. Diddy had to step down from Revolt TV. His Sean John brand is a ghost of what it was, and any sponsorships or partnerships vaporized overnight. He went from being one of the most untouchable moguls in music to a liability no one wants to be associated with. And that's why this phone call is so insane. Because Kanye is the last one left. And if Kanye West, who has his own destroyed reputation, his own insane controversies, and his own public downfall, is the only one still defending you, you're finished. Because now we have to ask, why is Kanye the last one standing? And that is where things get even crazier. If Diddy's downfall is a free fall with no parachute, then Kanye West is the one standing at the bottom, arms wide open, telling him everything's going to be just fine. And that might be the most unhinged part of this entire saga. The fact that, as everyone else runs for cover, Kanye is not just staying, he's doubling down. Because let's be clear, Sean Combs is finished, legally, professionally, publicly. And yet the only person left standing in his corner is a man who has spent the past few years nuking his own career into oblivion. No Jay-Z, no industry heavyweights. No one with anything to lose is risking their name to defend him. Except for, a man who has already lost nearly everything. The leaked call between them wasn't just two former moguls catching up. It was a delusional pep talk from one disgraced star to another. A mutual reality denial session that tells us more about Kanye than it does about Diddy. Because let's be honest, Diddy has every reason to cling to whatever scraps of support he can get. But Kanye? Why is he so committed to standing by someone accused of running an actual trafficking operation? The answer lies in the way Kanye sees himself. This isn't about Diddy. This is about Kanye's own obsession with victimhood, his belief that he and Diddy are being targeted by some unseen force. Because if Diddy is guilty, if the accusations are true, then it means actions have consequences. And Kanye West cannot accept that idea, because if the world has turned against Diddy for good reason, then maybe the world turned against Kanye for good reason too. And that's something he refuses to believe, so instead he clings to a different explanation, a simpler one. It's not their own behavior that led to this number. It's a conspiracy. It's they. And this is where the Kanye-Diddy alliance turns from sad to genuinely disturbing. Because Kanye doesn't just believe Diddy is innocent, he believes he himself is a victim of the same system. Kanye West lives for a fight. It's not enough for him to be successful, to make music, to create. No, he needs to be at war with something. And if there's no battle, he'll invent one. For years, it was the music industry. Then it was the fashion world. Then it was his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. Then it was the Jewish community, Hollywood, and some vague, undefined they that Kanye is convinced is out to silence him. And now it's whoever he thinks is trying to take down Diddy. When Kanye tells Diddy in that leaked call that they're trying to end us, he's not just talking about Diddy's case. He's talking about himself too. Because in Kanye's mind, they are the same. Never mind that Diddy is facing federal charges that include trafficking, drugging, and sexual coercion, while Kanye's scandals are more about his words and alliances. In Kanye's world, anyone who faces backlash is a victim. Never mind that Diddy's being canceled for literal criminal accusations, while Kanye got dropped for praising Hitler. In Kanye's mind, it's all the same. Never mind that the reason no one else is defending Diddy is because the evidence against him is overwhelming. Kanye doesn't see evidence. Kanye sees a system that wants to erase men like them. And that's why he's the last one standing. Not because it makes sense. Not because he actually believes in Diddy's innocence. But because if Diddy is guilty, then that means cancel culture isn't a myth. It means some things really are unforgivable. And Kanye can't let himself believe that. Because if Diddy deserves to be destroyed, then maybe Kanye deserved to be destroyed too. But let's talk about why Kanye has no credibility left to begin with. At one point, Kanye West was untouchable. He was an artist, a cultural icon, a billionaire mogul with the world at his feet. And then, one by one, he burned every single bridge in his path. The first crack, his public spiral into extremist ideology. And no, this isn't about being controversial or outspoken. Kanye has always been those things. But in the past few years, he's gone from challenging norms to actively embracing hate speech and dangerous rhetoric. It started with his White Lives Matter stunt in Paris, where he deliberately co-opted a phrase used by white supremacists and framed it as a bold statement. When the backlash started, he didn't just double down, he went nuclear. Kanye West got online and declared that he was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The world stopped. Adidas cut ties, instantly tanking his billionaire status. Balenciaga severed all partnerships. His talent agency dropped him. His closest collaborators walked away. Within weeks, Kanye had lost more money, credibility, and influence than any artist in history. And instead of backing down, he went further. He started praising Hitler. Not subtly, not in some misunderstood, out-of-context way, directly, openly, with no shame. He went on Alex Jones's show, yes, Alex Jones, the guy who got sued for lying about dead kids, and said, "I love Hitler." Not, "I like Hitler." Not, "I respect his ability to lead." Number, "I love Hitler." The words came out of his mouth completely unprovoked. And in that moment, whatever scraps of credibility Kanye had left vanished. People had already forgiven a lot when it came to Kanye. The public had looked past his reckless statements for years, blaming mental illness, artistic expression, or just plain eccentricity. But this was the line. This was the moment Kanye West went from being a misunderstood genius to someone people actively wanted nothing to do with. Kim Kardashian, the mother of his children, reportedly took legal steps to limit his influence over their kids. Former allies didn't just distance themselves, they completely cut him off. The music industry didn't ban him, but it might as well have. No one was rushing to work with Kanye anymore. No one was defending him. And yet here he is, the last man standing in defense of Diddy. And the irony? Kanye has spent years ranting about Hollywood pedophiles. He's accused the entertainment industry of preying on young artists, controlling women, and hiding abuse. And yet now, when the government is literally indicting one of his former mentors on charges that match everything Kanye claims to stand against, he's defending him. The guy who's allegedly been trafficking women, drugging them, forcing them into grotesque situations, this is the hill Kanye wants to die on? It would be laughable if it wasn't so disturbing. So what's really happening here, it's not about loyalty. It's not about truth. It's about Kanye seeing himself in Diddy. Two men who refuse to take accountability, two men who believe they're untouchable. Two men who think the world is out to get them instead of realizing they burned their own empires to the ground. And this is what makes their alliance so dangerous. Because when people like Kanye and Diddy get together, they don't reflect. They don't take responsibility. They feed the delusion. And now Kanye isn't just ruining his own career. He's tying himself directly to one of the most radioactive figures in modern music history. Which means this isn't just a bad look. It's career suicide. And if Kanye thinks this is just another storm he can weather, he might want to take a look at Diddy. Because Kanye might be Diddy's last supporter. But soon, he might not have anyone left either. At some point, even the most loyal fans stop making excuses. There's a difference between controversy and complete self-destruction. And if the leaked call between Diddy and Kanye did anything, it made one thing painfully clear. There's no coming back from this one. For years, both of them had managed to slip past scandals, brush off bad press, and convince their audiences that they were misunderstood, unfairly targeted, or just too real for the industry to handle. But now the public isn't buying it anymore. This isn't just another round of damage control. This isn't the kind of thing that fades with time. Because some things aren't just controversies. Some things end careers forever. For Diddy, it's simple. People don't come back from allegations like this. The list of accusations isn't just long, it's sickening. This isn't about a bad business deal or a messy breakup. These are the kind of crimes that strip a person of their humanity. And Kanye? Kanye's been on a free fall for years, but the difference now is that no one is reaching out a hand to catch him. People are exhausted. He's gone too far, too often. And instead of pulling back, he's attached himself to one of the most radioactive figures in modern history. This isn't cancel culture. This isn't some temporary backlash that will disappear in a few months. This is a permanent shift. When the leaked phone call dropped, social media went nuclear. Not just because the conversation was tone-deaf and absurd, but because it was so deeply out of touch with reality that people didn't know whether to be disgusted or just laugh at how delusional these two men sounded. Diddy sitting in jail talking about how Kanye needs to fall back in love with music. Kanye acting like they're just two artists planning a comeback, instead of one being investigated for human trafficking and the other being shunned for anti-Semitism. The absurdity of it was impossible to ignore. The reaction? Brutal. We're not watching your comeback. You're done. That was the general sentiment. People have moved on. The music industry has moved on. The world has moved on. And the idea that Diddy and Kanye could just walk back onto the stage, flip a switch, and make everyone forget? It's laughable. The memes hit immediately. People calling the call the delusional villain pep talk of the century. Jokes about Kanye being the last person you want as a character witness. Clips of Diddy's voice from the call overlaid with footage of collapsing buildings and burning bridges. But beyond the jokes, the real shift was how unbothered people were by the idea of these two being gone for good. There was no outrage, no massive debate, just a collective, exhausted, all right, that's it, we're done here. And that's how you know it's over. Not when people are angry, not when people are arguing about whether someone deserves another chance, but when people just stop caring. Diddy and Kanye weren't just musicians. They weren't just celebrities, they were institutions. Diddy built the modern hip-hop empire. He shaped an entire era of music, fashion, culture, the bad boy era, the mogul lifestyle, the blueprint for how a rapper could evolve into a billionaire businessman. Kanye redefined what an artist could be. He wasn't just a rapper. He was a designer, an innovator, a trendsetter. He blurred the lines between music, fashion, and tech. He didn't just make hits, he changed culture. And yet today, neither of them matter anymore because the industry doesn't need them anymore. Diddy's empire? Gone. The businesses he once controlled? Scrambling to erase his name. He stepped down from Revolt. His partnerships are dead, and legally, even if he somehow dodges a conviction, he will never be seen the same way again. And Kanye's influence has shrunk to nothing. His music still comes out, but it doesn't dominate conversation anymore. His brand still exists, but it's a shadow of what it was. They aren't gatekeepers anymore. They aren't cultural forces anymore. And if the industry can move on without them, then they're done. Let's be real. Diddy's future is looking bleak. If he's convicted, he's spending the rest of his life in prison. Period. There's no special treatment, no industry favors, no comeback tour from that. But even if, by some legal miracle, he avoids prison, he's still finished. Because the damage is done. The lawsuits, the testimonies, the women who have come forward, the horrifying details that have surfaced. Even if a jury clears him of criminal charges, his legacy is already dead. No one is waiting for him to come back. No one is defending his name. No one is fighting to keep his reputation alive. He is alone. And Kanye? Kanye is still out there. He's still making music, still ranting, still trying to claw his way back into relevance. But no matter how many times he tries, the door isn't opening for him anymore. Because his biggest problem isn't just the things he said, it's the fact that he refuses to change. If he apologized, if he showed actual remorse, if he made real efforts to repair the damage he caused, maybe, just maybe, people would listen. But he won't. He never does. And that's why his exile is permanent. Because the world has no use for a man who refuses to grow. And that's what makes all of this so tragic and absurd. Diddy and Kanye were two of the biggest names in music history. They could have had it all, and yet they destroyed themselves. Diddy's crimes are unforgivable. Kanye's self-sabotage is relentless. And that phone call, that wasn't a comeback. That was a eulogy. Because the public isn't falling for their self-pity. No one is waiting for their return. And at the end of the day, this isn't cancel culture, this is accountability.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.